Today I'll be just discussing on the small changes in our lifestyle for a healthy environment. As we have seen, many renowned uh, scientists and also experienced lecturers have shared their research work. So, what I understand from all these lectures is immense work has been shared by them. The resources, their experiences have been shared by us. So, as a student, what exactly we are looking into it? What are the changes that we have to bring in our thought, or how we are going to contribute for a healthy environment? So, in my perspective, I've just broadlined into the four categories. First, first, let us put some effort in understanding the concept. Once we understand the concept, we have to create one model or an experiment, and we have to work on it. After working on that, we'll be having some experience, and we have to place it in our practical application too. And then we have to see the change. So I'm just presenting my work which we have done in one of the project. See, when you see the land use and land cover of 30-kilometer radius of the buffer zone of Hyderabad, here you can see the temporal variations in the LULC in and around Hyderabad agglomeration. See, we are talking about the changes, the effects, and also we are saying a lot of destruction is happening in the environment. Until and unless we quantify them we'll not be able to address the issue. So what we have done is we have taken the data of 2001 of Hyderabad, and then we have compared it with the present 2015 data. Just you can see on the screen, so much red is being appeared. That means lots of build-up urban is been seen there. We have already extended our urbanizations. We are keep on urbanizing ourselves. We are keep on building our concrete jungles. If you can see that green patches are being reduced, and also the water bodies are also being decreased. As well said by Dr. Purushottam sir, like we keep on altering the environment and then try to restore it, isn't it? But we cannot take all this back, isn't it? Development is done, development is being done, development will be done, and it is a continuous process. So we cannot revert back all these things. But what we can do is we can grow the trees, green our cities, and also rewild our gardens, change our diet, clean up the rivers, and make a peace with the nature. This is what the present scenario also demands, that we are part of nature and we are not the superiors in the nature. So let me just project it. So always, as I said you, until and unless we talk in the values, will not be able to understand whether the development is a positive development or whether it is a negative impact. So you can see these are the 17 layers we have studied for this LULC changes during this 5 years. And you can see a lot of build-up industrial area has come up, and build-up urban has come up, and roads also have increased. And we have given the reasons also, like why it has been done. See, everything is like DPSIR methodology, like drivers, pressures, impacts, and the results. So all this happens in the development. So when we see the area has been decreased or increased, is all because of our effort and because of our developments. So coming to the next slide. So as we develop, we keep on developing. We are also contributing to the pollutions. Not only the air pollution, apart from that, we are also contributing to the water pollution and also soil pollution. And we are also having many types of pollutions. And nowadays, we are also seeing the COVID pandemic also. So these deaths also have increased. When you observe the data of 2005 to 2010, the number of deaths have drastically increased. 72,000 of deaths have been increased. And it has been observed that we have around 6.2 lakh premature deaths also are happening due to this pollution. And not only these deaths, and also how much of the amount we are spending on the hospitalization cost. If you see one data which we have presented over here, you can see that the amount or the number of claims, you can see this is of the 2015 data, and you can see the 2016 data where the number of claims are also have increased, and the amount is also been increased substantially also. I can see nowadays the cost of hospitalization has been increased like anything. So keeping all these things, what is our contribution? What is our role as an individual? Because you, the students, now during this COVID pandemic situation, you people are staying at home. You're confined to the homes, but your learnings are not been stopped, isn't it? See, nowadays, so much of effort has been taken by your professors in organizing such beautiful experience lectures. So, what is that we have to do as an individual? What is that we are going to contribute to the healthy environment? Is what I'm going to highlight it. So, these are the individual contributions. I'm just highlighting because of this time constraint. Also, I'm just giving the glimpses what you people can contribute it. So we are talking about, a lot of has been talked about the segregation of waste, and we have been given two dustbins, one blue, one green. And I don't know how many of us really are practicing all these things. But as a student, come up with one pilot project. And what you have to do is you have to adopt a scientific way of segregation. So whatever the waste is available at your home, you start a pilot project and you adopt the scientific way of segregation and you document it. What is the percentage of waste is sent for recycling or can be sent for recycling, and how much of the waste can be sent for the compost, and what is the waste which is directly discarded or given to the JHMC or whatever it is. So until and unless we come up with one data, then only we will be knowing that how much waste can be exactly be handled. See, one example I can give you. You give some 10 rupees to a small child in your house, or one sachet, the chips sachet. Once you give both the things and you ask him to put it in the dustbin, without hesitation, he is going to drop that empty wrapper packet in the dustbin, but not the money. Because everybody knows the value of money and everybody thinks waste is waste. But no, waste also has a value, and it can be, we can also bring out this waste into a useful product. So always you try to calculate in terms of monetary value. Until and unless you give the monetary value, will not be able to segregate any waste. Like if you segregate the recycled product and you sell it to the person, and the amount you get, you see how much money you are getting it by the recycling the papers or recycling your plastic or selling these things, how much amount you have been generated, you prepare in the form of a table, and how much amount is that you are able to compost, and how much amount do you spend really buying these fertilizers. So you have to make it in the form of a table and calculate it in terms of the monetary value. So you do it, the exercise annually, and then you will be see how much is that amount you have been able to generate. Once you do it at the household, the same pilot project you can extrapolate to different households, and as a colony or in an apartment, how much is that you are able to segregate and bring out some useful proceedings out of it. And the same thing you can also apply to your college level also. And coming to the best practices adopted, as we have been told, like rather than completely cutting the milk packets or the oil packets, like snip half the sachets so that whatever the cut plastic is there, it will not choke the drains. And we also need to apply the 7 R's, that is replace, rethink, refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and repair. Now 3 R's has gone, 5 R's are gone, and now the 7 R's has come. So how much we are applying these things in our daily life is what we need to document. And also there is a need for the rainwater harvesting structures. It's not that the rainwater, whatever the rain that drops on our buildings, because we have all made it at a concrete jungle, There is no place for the water to seep into the soil. We have not given any chance for the rainwater to seep into our groundwater, and we keep on saying that our groundwater levels are reducing. But we have to come up with one rainwater harvesting structures. How can we hold and tap each drop of the water also has to be studied. And the most important and alarm thing that is happening in our urban agglomeration is the water tanks which is there in the overhead. It keeps on overflowing. You might have seen in many houses. And the students can come up with a design for an alarm which can be linked to your mobiles. If such things can be developed, these are all the ideas for you students to come up with one pilot projects. So we need to stop this water tank overflow also. So, and coming to the next thing, and we have heard from many of the experts the need of the ecosystem, the services that have been provided by the forest or by the different ecosystems is immense. So what we can do is we need to develop the home garden with herbal and aromatic plants. This is also an ecosystem, isn't it? So, and it's only not only planting and growing them. You also need to document them. So I'm just giving one example. You need to document them along with the medical uses, and you bring out one booklet out of it. You publish in your magazines, in your campus magazines and everything. So this also will help you in bringing out some articles from your end. So there is also a need to develop this home garden. And the other thing which I wanted to stress is on conducting the environmental audit. Don't think that this environmental audit is something very, something it is done only in the research organization and where you people cannot touch it. So if you see, this environmental audit will have different components. The waste generated at your house, the water usage, whether it is a potable water or whether it is a wastewater, and what is the air and noise quality of your area, and existing environmental policy, and how is your campus building, or how is this your landscape, and also an energy audit. So in this, you can start a pilot project at your household level. So you can also come up with one format where you can quantify how much waste is generated and how much waste you're able to recycle and how much waste you're able to compost, and how much is your water input, and how much is your water, how much water is you're sending it out, and also it's air and noise quality. Okay, I understand you require some of the instruments, but water, wastewater, and the landscape and the energy audit can be done at your end. So once we have this, and after applying your best practices, just have an annual report, like how much you could, how much was the present scenario, how much are your bills present, and how much you could reduce. See, once you reduce, it is also like contributing to a healthy environment. So once you are able to conduct this environmental audit at your house level, and you can also apply it to your college level, because I understand that all the universities or the colleges do have the NAC accreditation, and this environment audit is one of the component in the format. And also there is need to become an environmental reporter. We are seeing so many issues, so many things are happening in and around our surroundings. Are we reporting those things? Are we at least telling to the people these are the best practices, or these are the issues? Some of them are burning their garbage or open space, and how the health issues are happening. There is a need for each and every individual to also to become an environmental reporter. So these are some of the projects which I would like to introduce to the students, and I request them to come up with some really with some audited work or some good work with the homework. And you can also share your works to us, and where we can also provide required suggestions. And let me take a brief introduction about EPTRI. This is only for the students so that they can join as internship, and they also can take some suggestions in these fields. So we have Environmental Protection Center, Environmental Research Development Center, and we also have a Training and Capacity Building Center. And these are the divisions which are there under these centers. And coming to the thrust areas, and we are expertised in carrying environmental impact assessment, social impact assessment studies, and dealing with segregation of the waste, climate change adaptation. And also we do have the plant tissue culture laboratory over here. And if the students are interested to understand about this tissue culture and how they can talk the different techniques, they can also join with us. And also the biodiversity studies, as in the brief notings of Uma Maheshwar, we have, you might now understand that we are also into the people biodiversity study, people biodiversity registers preparation and all. And we also do have the state art laboratory. And we are also expertised in evaluation of ETPs, STPs, and we also do the need-based training programs. And we are also conducting the green skill development programs for the students, and these programs are free of cost for all the students, and the students will be given the certificates, and these are the residential programs, and around 10 programs have been conducted by EPTRI. And for this financial year, the ones which are highlighted with red, like preparation of PBRs, pollution monitors, plant tissue culture techniques and its application, water budgeting and auditing. These courses will be given to us during September and October, and the students who have already completed their courses and who wanted to enhance their skills may join these courses, and which will be placed in our EPTRI website. And I also welcome all the students to come to EPTRI and understand our projects, work with our projects as interns. And you can drop us a mail at nveserc@gmail.com for further any information you require. I think with this, I'm going to thank all the organizers for giving us a chance and also to be part of this event. And I also personally thank Dr. Halil Khan for his patience and really coordinating this successful program. And there is also one book that has been released for this on this environmental day, that is Ecosystem Restoration Playbook, which is a practical guide. The students can just open into the link which has been placed over here. With this, I take the leave. Thank you very much.